Hi, everybody, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023, and I hope you're ready to have some fun. Good morning, Mary. Thank you for joining me. We are going to use the Cheerful Daisies stamp set today, and I'm going to show you. It's a quick and easy card, but give you some tips for the two-step stamping and show you a couple other little tricks how to add some dimension and some texture to your card in maybe some ways that you haven't thought of before. So want to welcome you. If you're new to my channel, I'm so happy you found me. And if you're returning or you're catching me on the replay, thank you so much for joining me and for your support and helping me grow my channel. One quick reminder, and you may not know about it, but yesterday evening Stampin' Up! Announced they're having a one-day sale starting tomorrow. It is on July 19th only, and they are doing 15% off on stamp sets. That does not include bundles. So if there's something you've been waiting for or wanting, now might be the time to think about getting it. And remember that through July 31st, for every $50 you spend, you earn a $5 like bonus bucks to use in August. So I'm going to stop talking. Good morning, Maria. Thank you for joining me. And we're going to get started stamping. Okay, today we are using the Cheerful Daisies bundle. I have not used that enough. I'm going to bring that in for you here. It is in our annual catalog. And my camera is tipped a little bit. There we go. So we're going to be using this. It's a two-step stamp, and it is photopolymer. I've already pulled out what we're going to be using. It has some beautiful dies with it. We are not using the dies today, but we will be doing that fairly soon. So I wanted to show you that. And I am also using the Designer Series paper from Fresh as a Daisy. I'm using this piece that I'm going to kind of show it. It kind of reminds me almost of a granite or a cement. I don't know. I just really like the variation in the color. And the color that we're using is, oh my gosh, Pebbled Path. So that's what color this is. So let's bring in our supplies and we're going to get started. Okay, we're using a card base here that is Pebbled Path, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now, don't worry about measurements because, as you know, I give you a downloadable PDF. And the blog post that goes along with this video will be ready at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and it will have your measurements, the supplies, and you'll have a downloadable PDF. And the link for that blog post you'll be able to find right in the description of this video. So we're going to fold this, and we're going to burnish it with our bone folder. Now, if you are new or you like those PDFs, I do have a newsletter that I put out weekly on Wednesdays. And in that, you'll always see my posts for the last week with the link, and you'll always get 2 free other PDFs. So you get 4 PDF options. So if you aren't signed up for my newsletter, go up to the top here on YouTube and click the link to sign up. And they typically go out on Wednesdays. All right, we're going to use a layer of basic white. Now, I have embossed this ahead of time, and I'm using the Exposed Brick, the 3D embossing folder. And I don't know if you can see that with the glare and the shine, but I have embossed it ahead of time, and look how pretty that is. I just love it. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this to the front of our card. Now, the one thing that I'm doing different on this card that I've not done don't do too often, or that I've tried, just now starting to try, is I'm double embossing, or 2 layers. So I am going to use a second layer embossed with this same embossing folder, but I'm not going to use cardstock. I'm going to use designer series paper. Let's make sure I don't get the glue on my hands on the card. Now, this layer I made much thinner. This is a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 because I just wanted the pebbled path to kind of peek out from around the edges. And the reason why is because we're going to put that designer series paper I showed you. I'm using the deckled rectangle for this. Now, this is the largest of the deckled rectangles, and I did cut that from the designer series paper, but then I embossed it. So actually what I did first was emboss it, and then I cut it with the deckled rectangle so that I kept the design in it. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this. I hope everybody had an enjoyable weekend and you were able to have fun with family and friends, or time for crafting, whatever brings you joy. Okay, so here is our basic. We're ready for the card base. So now let's do some stamping. So I'm going to bring in a piece of basic white. And hi, Felicity. Thank you for joining from New Zealand. 3 a.m. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. We are using, this is the 3rd largest of the deckled rectangles. And I'm going to use this for my last layer for here. So we're going to do some stamping on this. So because these are photopolymer stamps, I am going to bring in my piercing mat. And you can see I've been doing a fair amount of stamping. And I'm going to bring in my colors. And we are using an array of colors. We're using Granny Apple Green, Lemon Lolly, Pecan Pie, Pebbled Path, and Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to just bring in the Granny Apple Green, the Daffodil Delight, and the Lemon Lolly. And we're going to stamp our flowers. And I'm going to start off with the stem, and we're going to do that in Granny Apple Green. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to bring in my first stem, and then I'm going to set this off to the side, and this is 2 steps for the daisies. So I'm going to use Lemon Lolly for the base stamp, and I always call my base stamp is the flat stamp. And then we're going to use the Daffodil Delight for the more detailed stamp, to give it that little bit of edging. So we're going to go in here, and I'm going to try not to get my head in this, and stamp our daisy. And now I'm going to ink up the more detailed stamp with the Daffodil Delight. And I want to get in here without my head in the way for you. And there's our daisy. Now we're going to do a second one. And I'm going to re-ink my stem. I would like to have 2 flowers here. And then we're going to use a different daisy. We're going to bring in this small one. And again, I'm going to use the Lemon Lolly for my base. And I want to get that stem, and I may even stamp off a little bit here and overlap, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. And then re-ink with my And then to match it up, I'm going to stand up so my head isn't in the way here. That's a little off, but we're going to go with it. Or are we? Now I'm going to turn it around and we're going to try it again. So bear with me here. Okay. Sometimes it's hard when you're trying not to get your head in the way to avoid missing the mark on lining those stamps up. And I definitely missed the mark on that. So let's go ahead here. Okay. And then let's do our other one. So that looks a little better. Okay. Let's try this again. I am going to bring this in just a little bit closer to me to line that up. And that looks better. All right, so we're done with the flowers there. And now for the center, I'm going to bring in my pecan pie. And we're just going to go ahead and stamp the center on both of these flowers. All right. Now I'm ready to stamp my greeting, and I'm going to put the greeting across the top, and I'm going to use Pebbled Path. And I am using the greeting from the stamp set for the outside of my card. And it says, wishing you the brightest birthday. So I'm going to ink that up with Pebbled Path. And we're just going to go ahead and stamp it right here in the middle. All right. Now I want to add a little something to this. So I did bring in the Pebbled Path ribbon, which is pretty thick. And while it has a texture to it, I thought, tried a couple things. Now this ribbon can be cut in half, and I brought it in to show you. I did do this last evening, and I cut it in half and I made a bow. But because I felt the bow, for me, for this little piece of paper, was just too big, looked too bulky. But I didn't like it with just the bow. But that is an option for you. You can cut it lengthwise and then tie your bow. And it works out well with, I didn't have any raveling with that. But on here, I'm going to go ahead and just grab some tape. And we're going to adhere this to the back of our card. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal Plus, and I'm just going to put a little bit here and here, and we're going to adhere our ribbon. So I want it to cross over the stems a little bit, and I don't care if the stems stick out. And then I'm just going to adhere it here and snip that off. So let's trim that off. And then I'm going to take another piece, and I'm just going to tie a knot here so that I have a little bow. And my all thumbs today. Let's grab that. There we go. And I'm just going to give it a good pull. Okay, now I do want to snip off my edges here. So I'm just going to cut that on an angle and then cut this one on an angle. Okay, now if you don't want this to be moving around on you, let's move this over. I just grab a glue dot and I'm going to stick one under there. Let's get the ribbon out of the way here and see where I put my glue dots. They were just here with me. Well, they seem to have disappeared and I'm not sure where they went. Right in front of me. Do you ever have that happen? I have everything in front of me and I'm looking for it, but I can't find it. So I'm going to grab this. I'm just going to pop this on the back of where I have my bow tied, the knot. And there we are. So now let's stick this onto our card. So I'm going to add some glue. Now you can use your Stampin' Seal Plus or tape runner, whatever it is that you use. And you can even pop it up if you want to. I like it kind of flat because I know I'm going to mail this. And then I'm not going to have to do too much worrying about postage. Now, a quick tip, if you're mailing cards that you pop up or that you have some gems on it, you know, you don't want to pay the extra postage. Take a piece of cardstock, run it through an embossing folder, and place it right on top so that it's flat when you put it in the envelope and you're set to go. I'm going to decorate this using, these are the in 2023-2024 in color glossy dots. And I'm going to use the pebbled path. And I'm just going to pick these up and kind of place them. I'm going to use a small, a medium, and a large. And let's go right about here. And let's grab a large one. And we're going to put this here. All right. Now for our inside, I want to show you when I cut the layer of designer series paper. And I'll have the measurements for you a little bit later on in the post. I have a piece of the frame left. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to use this to decorate as the edge on my inside. And the reason is because it picks up that deckled edge just like my paper, so that I carry that through to the inside of my card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the edge. And a lot of times I put this right over to the very edge of the card. I want a little bit of that white border, just like I have on the outside of my card. So today I'm going to move it over a little bit. And then I do have scissors that I use only for sticky, gluey stuff. And we're ready to stamp our greeting. Now, if you're going to put an inside greeting on, use whatever you have. I picked a Sending You Smiles for Every Moment of a Special Day, and it's actually from a retired stamp set. But I'm okay with that. I'm big on using what you have. So let's go ahead and stamp this. I'm going to test this before I stamp it with the way this morning's going. You just never know, huh? All right, let's try it. Let's see if I can do this without messing this one up. Okay. Yeah, looks pretty good. Now, if you want to give it a little bit of extra something here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp just one of the daisies in the corner, and I'm going to stamp it coming off the edge here. So do that. We're going to do the smaller one. So let's bring in our lemon lolly. I've had the hardest time getting that stem in the right spot for the flowers, which I normally don't have, but this one is, I think it's me, but, and we're just going to stamp this here. And then we're going to do our inside, and we're going to adhere this, and we are done. So let's bring this back in. And I have to tell you, I wasn't real excited initially about the new in colors, but I am loving them, and particularly Pebbled Path. Love it. So look at the card. I think it really, that Pebbled Path just kind of gives it a rich look. And with that double, having the double embossed layers, it just gives a little bit more texture and design. So I'm going to bring you back to me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I enjoyed doing it for you. We're going to do a lot more with the Cheerful Daisies in the future using those dies. If you did enjoy today's video, please give me a thumbs up. Help me grow my channel. Feel free to share the videos and hit that subscribe button. And I will be back with you on Friday, and actually we're going to do a Christmas card. We're going to start that Christmas. We're going to do Christmas in July on Friday. So you have a great week. Stay safe, well, and I will see you Friday at 11 a.m. Thank you, Marie and Mary. I'm glad you enjoyed it.